looks like they're gonna have a race. Maybe that's the finish line for a race. They're getting ready for it. Yeah. They're prepping. Well, that's what it is. It's a bike race. So I don't think it's started yet. They're just putting up barriers. Here's some group. Yeah, big event for sure. Feira de São Bernardo. Biker group. I smell hot dogs. Yeah, over there they have an equestrian setup and a little fair for the kids. Our favorite tenor guy is getting some attention. Hello folks, taking a walk. Yesterday I went to Alcobaça to the Feira. It was really interesting, but didn't stay long enough to see the evening unfold. Usually these festivals really get going around 7 p.m. and they keep going until like 3 or 4 a.m. But a lot of different things going on, films, concerts, music, presentations, food, all that kind of thing. These city festivals are a lot of fun in Portugal, so I recommend you're trying to see one if you're visiting. Yeah, I had to leave early because it was really, really hot and I had a migraine headache and I didn't feel too good, so yeah, didn't see the good stuff, but it was still fun going. Anyway, I read an article, Chris Hedges' article today, sheer post, that, you know, I recognize, have felt for a long, long time. And I was thinking about this book I read called Why We Fight, and there's a part in the beginning of the book where he's talking about George Washington and how he was a scheming, wealth-hungry fellow who made a lot of deals and with land, buying land, and so on and so forth. Anyway, supposedly he was like the 55th most richest person in America, historically speaking. So you're thinking way back then, in the 18th century, wow, he was rich, man. And he liked the finer things. And Sheldon Wollin's inverted totalitarianism and so on. Anyway, in one of Chris Hedges' books, he's talking about that inverted totalitarianism. A lot of people quote that. And I was thinking about Hannah Arendt and the banality of evil and so on. You know, most of us just don't have the bandwidth to understand things well enough to see the importance of pushing back against the powers that be when we need to. So Chris was talking about Julian Assange, love him or hate him. You know, the powers that be, they get away with murder all the time. And for most of us, it doesn't seem to matter at all. And that's the way it is. And what's going to happen with our new, as God evolves, the new God of technology, the singularity, transhumanism, postmodernism and all that stuff, is going to be more capability to control all of us. So I think we lost that game decades ago. So, you know, before 1984, Brave New World were ever written, the writing was on the wall, and democracy is just an idea. It's kind of like a fantasy. Things have been co-opted by corporate power, and you know, in that book, Why We Fight, he talked about unchecked desires by elites, you know, their unchecked ambition, unchecked greed. And that's a problem, actually. I keep fantasizing about, you know, the powers that be having to go back to a Roman Republic model of warfare, you know. And if they want to go up in the world, they basically have to lead from the front and sort out their conflicts, because nobody really wants to go to war, and soldiers don't really want to die. There's lots of literature out there about that, people not firing in the Civil War and so on, and yet some of the deadliest battles in history were in the Civil War, because finally we had cannon and we had equipment that could kill at a distance very effectively, mortar shells and so on. Now we have drones, and we're going to have smart drones, probably pilotless, without even a human being in the decision loop. And what's going to happen if nuclear arms get to that point? Forget about a general artificial intelligence. Maybe it comes soon, maybe it doesn't ever come. We still have enough tools to manufacture consent, to create disinformation and misinformation, to manipulate people. And online, all you have to do is go on YouTube and say you're a genius and you're smart, you know everything, like Ben Shapiro or Pete, characters like that, and people will believe you because they want answers. Now we have the tools, so you can go write up your algorithms and your AIs and get busy manipulating the hell out of people. Good luck. I hope you become rich and wealthy and powerful, become a big player. But I doubt you're going to be any happier than I am. With all of my fears and flaws. You don't need much, but we do need each other, and we need this earth to be healthy and full of life to maintain civilization for long. We got to worry about energy. So yeah, a lot of people I know, they wouldn't listen to Nate Hagen's Great Simplification podcast for anything. They just hate thinking about things systemically. They hate thinking that they might have to sacrifice something. They're not going to read a Chris Hedges article and think it's profound. They're not going to shed any tears over what he has to say. Nobody wants to pick up their cross. They kill Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, whoever, and then the world turns. It just shifts around. We're all in bell-bottoms listening to the Rolling Stones, eventually Led Zeppelin, eventually whoever we're listening to now. And we're just having a ball. I like Portugal because it's a little simpler. People just kind of have a more down-to-earth, simpler life. And they don't seem as avaricious as Americans, but I haven't been in America for ages, so what do I know? And I was in China, and I know what people over there want. They want to be rich too. But their system of power and government is a little different, so you really have to play a different game if you're going to be a mover and shaker over there. But you want to do business, you want to have wealth, you want to have a house, houses, things, travel, buy clothes, watches. So it's materialistic. This is where we live. This is what we do. whether you like it or not, microplastics are everywhere. It's going to be Blade Runner. We're going to turn this Earth into one big plastic ball, and then there's going to be a mass coronal ejection, and the Earth's just going to melt into the shape of a bust of Elon Musk. And that'll be the end. All right, take care. Have a nice day. Buliam T, out.